We're back for our next departmental budget discussion, and I'm Mayor David Briley. I'm joined to my left by Talia Lomax O'Neill, the city's finance director, and by Emily Pacini to my right, who is the chief of staff here in the mayor's office. Just a little bit about last year's budget process before we dive into this year's. As you may remember, the budget process last year was unprecedented in many respects, including the fact that we were tight on revenue last year. Since then, every department in the city has worked hard to trim their budget a little bit to live within their means, and as a result of that and some increased revenues in this cycle, we were in a position to provide a 3% cost of living adjustment, as well as step increases and open range increases to all our employees, an increase that they deserved for sure. Our next budget discussion is with Maria Salas, the Davidson County Clerk and Master. I see you're here by yourself today, so there's no one for you to introduce, but I do want to thank you for a busy year for the Clerk and Master. I think you got 2 new chancellors this year, and so you've had some transition there, so thanks for keeping the trains running on time. And with that, I'll turn it over to you, to Ms. Salas.
Thank you for having me. As you know, the Clerk and Master's office is really a support and service office. We support the chancellors who decide the case and the attorneys and litigants who present them, and then we provide constituent service for delinquent tax collection and conduct approximately 6 to 7 delinquent tax sales a year. Working with Metro Finance, we were able to identify some budget savings for last fiscal year, and we've met our savings targets. And now for this fiscal year, we are here asking for a small increase of $25,000 to fully fund our electronic case filing system. You heard from Criminal Court Clerk's office that they're in the process with the other court clerks of implementing e-filing, but we've been e-filing in Chancery Court now for 2 years. We've worked with our partner clerks here and shared our experiences to assist them in their implementation, and we're excited that they'll be going online soon. But we're still currently one of only 4 courts in the state that has electronic filing. Electronic filing simplifies and streamlines the process. Our system is fully integrated with our case management system, provides a benefit to the court and to the filers. In 2018, we had almost 5,000 e-filings, which was almost double the amount we had in 2017. I think you've heard me say before that a Metro lawyer was actually our first e-filer, and Metro Legal continues to be one of our most frequent e-filers. And in that sense, we like to say that the benefits of our system stretch across Metro government. The way it works, we have a vendor that we contracted with. It's the same vendor that we have for our case management system. And there's a $5 transaction fee per filing. And the fee is turned over to Metro. We collect it, turn it over in our regular fees and collections. But the system is not break even for our office, and there's a couple of reasons for that. One, we don't charge ourselves. When the chancellors e-file, when I e-file, those go in without fee. We don't charge Metro when they e-file, and by state statute, we can't charge the state when they e-file. But the main reason that it's not break even for us is there's a state statute that limits the amount that we can collect, up to $50 per party per case. So that statute keeps us from fully passing on the cost of the system to the users of the system. And during the implementation, we were using some 4% funds as we got online and got going, and we're asking for this small increase this year so that we can have the funds permanently added to our budget to continue to provide what we think has been a highly successful program. No discussion in our office is complete without mentioning our 15 dedicated staff members. I want to thank them and thank the other Metro departments that we have the opportunity to work with every year. And that's really all I have. Take any questions?
I think she does terrific work.
So so you said you're one of 4 courts in the state? 4 courts of record? Is
Shelby County Chancery, Shelby County Circuit, Rutherford County Chancery, and us. And then soon to be Davidson County. So when the Davidson other court clerks here go online, we'll have more courts than any other county in the state that'll be with e-filing.
And so do you still allow paper filing as well?
We do, because the e-filing is not mandatory. It's very different than the federal court system. it's a voluntary system. So it provides extreme benefits to us, but because it's voluntary, and it would be the same way with the other courts, I mean, their system isn't mandatory either, then it has some inefficiencies in that we maintain paper files as well, at least paper files for the traditional filing.
And are we allowed as a city to make it mandatory? Is that up to the courts to do that?
I believe that would have to be done through the Administrative Office of the Courts.
The AOC would have to do that.
Now, our chancellors certainly encourage it. I know that they've encouraged, I mean, I've been in court when they've encouraged the filers to use the system, and we have more and more filers every year, as you know, we almost doubled last year, but it's not mandatory, so we can't make them do that.
But at some point, you'll get to a moment where somebody's waiting all day for something to be filed by paper, right?
I mean, it goes into the system almost, I mean, we scan everything into the system anyhow in the case management, but there's somewhat of a time lag for the paper file, and it moves through a few staff hands. With electronic filing, you really just a few seconds, and it pops up in the case management system and available. So.
All right. Thank you.
All right,
Appreciate it
thank you.
very much.
Appreciate being here.
Thank you.